I'm going to leave my fiance for my boyfriend. 6 months ago, my fiance asked to open our relationship. 3 months later, he asked to go fully poly. I said yes both times. I want to be clear. I don't regret that. It turned out to be the right decision, just not for the reasons either of us expected. He started seeing a woman from work. I started seeing a guy from the gym. I should say something about where I was coming from before all of this, because it matters. I grew up around men who didn't show emotion. My dad, my uncles, every boyfriend before my fiance. Affection wasn't something that happened. My mom used to say that's just how men are, that the good ones provide and stay and don't make a scene, and the flowers and feelings thing was for movies. I'd absorbed all of that. I was with my fiance because I thought reliable and detached was the realistic version of love. I didn't know I was settling for something smaller than what was possible because I had never had a reference point for what it could actually feel like. Then I did. My boyfriend texts me just to say hi. Brings food to my office for no reason. Plans actual dates. Not elaborate, just thoughtful. Holds my hand when we walk. Asks how I'm doing and waits for the real answer, not the fine one. After the first few weeks, I remember sitting with that feeling and thinking, is this what it's supposed to feel like? I had been with my fiance for 4 years and I hadn't felt this scene in probably 3 of them. My fiance's idea of affection was a side hug on my birthday and watching The Witcher in silence on opposite ends of the couch. I talked to my mom and she asked me simply, which one made me happier? The answer came out before I finished thinking about it. I told my fiance I wished he was more affectionate, that I wanted to feel like a priority, that I wanted someone who showed up in small ways, not just the big ones. He said he wasn't into chick flicks, so I went to dinner to end the engagement, except he'd invited his parents without telling me. His mom was already at the table when I arrived, and she had a folder, printed venue options, dress swatches, a short list of florists. She said she'd been planning to buy a dress in the morning and wanted to go over arrangements. I sat there looking at the folder and thought about the conversation I'd rehearsed on the drive over. I thought about how there was no version of this that ended with everyone feeling okay. I told them the wedding was off right there at the table. His mom cried. His dad went very quiet. My fiance made a scene, raised his voice, said I was being dramatic, asked in front of everyone what my actual problem was because he'd given me 4 years in a ring. We got kicked out of the restaurant. He drove away and left his parents in the parking lot. That was its own kind of surreal, driving them home in silence. His mom in the passenger seat with her folder still in her lap, crying quietly the whole way. I kept thinking about what she was going to do with all those printouts. I dropped them off and sat in their driveway for a few minutes before I could make myself drive back to the apartment. I knew what was waiting. We fought for a long time, and somewhere in the middle of it, the truth came out. He admitted he pushed to open the relationship originally because he wanted to sleep with his co-worker without it counting as cheating. And when feelings developed on his end, he pushed for poly so it could be official. He'd never wanted to open things for me. I was collateral who happened to benefit. He called me a baby for wanting affection. Said real men don't get emotional. Said I needed to grow up if I thought a boyfriend who brought flowers was a reasonable standard to hold someone to. Said I was selfish, immature, ungrateful for everything he provided. Then he left. He called about an hour later, crying, saying he was sorry and he hadn't meant any of it and could I please come home and could we just talk? He needed to hear my voice. Real men don't get emotional. I let him finish. Then I told him, as gently as I could, that he had a girlfriend and she was probably better equipped to handle this conversation than I was. I hung up, sat in my car for a while in the dark, not really thinking about anything. Then I texted the guy from the gym. He asked if I was okay. I said